Today on Public Eye News, Governor Whitmer has big spending plans for Michigan's education, and later an orphanage founder is set to appear in court today charged with sexual abuse towards minors.
Nate Diamond will have your sports update and weather forecast. I'm Kenzie Harrod.
And I'm Austin Graham, and this is Public Eye News. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer gave her State of the State address last night, and one of the highlights of her speech was increasing funding for education. Whitmer wants to increase investments in education by making community college free for all Michigan high school graduates. Whitmer's address also focused on cutting costs for Michigan residents, saying that, quote, "We will build a Michigan where if you get knocked down, you have the support you need to get back up," end quote. Some Republicans criticized Whitmer's address, saying there have not been any improvements in education or infrastructure within the last 5 years. The governor's speech came before a legislative session between House Democrats and Republicans. The state House is currently tied 54-54 until at least April, when special elections will be held to fill 2 empty seats. And in Columbus, Ohio, the state government has banned gender-affirming care for minors. The state Senate voted 24-8 yesterday to override Governor Mike DeWine's veto of the ban, which will not allow minors in the state to receive gender-affirming care and will restrict transgender women and girls from participating on sports teams, including playing a sport at the K-12 and collegiate level. Governor DeWine signed an executive order preventing people under the age of 18 from having gender-affirming surgery in the first week of January. However, the governor reassured Ohioans on Wednesday that he had vetoed the bill to protect parents and their children from the government's influence on medical decisions. Officials say that the new law is expected to go into effect in the next 90 days.
And yesterday, the Michigan State Police confirmed the on-duty death of Trooper Joel Popp of Tri-City Post. At 7:12 p.m. on Wednesday, Trooper Popp, along with other troopers, were investigated a suspected impaired driver on northbound I-75 near Birch Run. During the traffic stop, an 81-year-old male struck 2 patrol cars and Trooper Popp, who was outside of his vehicle. Despite being transported to Hurley Medical Center, Trooper Popp succumbed to his injuries. He now becomes the 56th Michigan State Trooper to be killed in the line of duty. And in Wisconsin, wildlife officials warn of a $16 million shortfall in the state's wildlife management account due to the declining hunting license sales. The deficit jeopardizes critical projects like fish stocking and habitat restoration. Despite temporary fixes in the last budget, a $15.9 million shortfall is expected in the upcoming budget cycle. Efforts to raise revenue include a proposed bill for non-resident hunting license fee increases, but board members stress the fee hikes alone won't solve the issue. They urge education and initiatives to inform lawmakers and the public about the situation. And nearly 6 months ago, Minnesota State Trooper Ryan Longren shot and killed Ricky Cobb, the second at a traffic stop. He is now charged with 3 felonies, one of which being murder. Reporter David Schumann has more.
Pulled over last summer for driving without his lights, Ricky Cobb II asked state troopers multiple times why he was being asked to get out of the car. Cobb was to be arrested for violating a protective order. Body camera video shows Trooper Ryan Londrigan shoot twice when Cobb starts to pull away, killing him. Now Londrigan faces criminal charges.
State troopers may only use deadly force when it is necessary to protect a person from a specific, identified threat of great bodily harm or death that was reasonably likely to occur. That did not exist in this case.
Cobb didn't have a gun, but Londrigan's attorneys argue the trooper was protecting himself and his partner from Cobb running them over or dragging them.
This county attorney is literally out of control. Open season on law enforcement must end.
Attorney Joe Tamburino, who's not associated with the case, says this case already differs from previous police killings. While prosecutors don't have to prove intent for the second-degree manslaughter and murder charges, they will for the assault charge.
And I'm surprised at that. Usually you do not see such a very serious intent crime in the middle of 2 negligence crimes.
Valerie Castile is one of the few who truly knows what Cobb's family may be feeling. Her son, Philando, was killed during a traffic stop in 2016. What was it like the day you learned charges were brought in your son's case?
It's a big relief because that weight of uncertainty and not knowing, it's just refreshing that people are being held accountable.
David Schumann, WCCO News.
After this break, Nate Diamond will be back with your weather forecast. Stay tuned.
I'm Sherry Castle. I write cookbooks, I write for food magazines, I cook, I teach, and I collect stories. And my favorite stories are the ones behind our best loved home recipes. I will go out and explore from the ground up a few of the best ingredients that go into some of our most beloved family recipes. It's all about the food, the flavors, and finding the key ingredient.
This afternoon at 4:30.
Welcome back. I'm Nate Diamond, and this is your Public Eye weather forecast. Taking a look at our roof cam, we can see that a lot of our snow has started to melt, and there's clouds covering the sky. Take a look across the UP. Starting up in Houghton, it's 37 and foggy. In Ironwood, 37 and cloudy. In Iron Mountain, 38 and cloudy. Down in Menominee, we have 36 and cloudy. Some more fog in Manistee and Escanaba, 37 in Escanaba, 36 in Manistee, and over in Sault Ste. Marie, it's 35 and cloudy, and back in our lovely Marquette, it is 40 degrees and cloudy, with winds south at 4 miles an hour and a barometric pressure of 30.12 inches and falling. Taking a look into tonight, we have more clouds with a low of 35 and winds south-southwest at 3 miles an hour. Looking into tomorrow, we have even more clouds with a higher temperature of 40 degrees, with a low of 33 and winds north at 4 miles an hour. And warmer temperatures, taking a look into this weekend. Saturday, we have some clouds with a high of 40, low of 33. More clouds on Sunday with a high of 36 and a low of 33. And some sun peeking out on Monday with a high of 37 and a low of 31. And that's all I have for your weather. Back to the desk for more news.
Thank you, Nate, for that weather update. Kenzie, it looks like it's going to be a nice weekend with this weather starting to warm up here. Now, going into our national news, an American orphanage founder in Haiti is set to appear in court today for sexual assault charges. According to a Florida grand jury indictment, Michael Gillenfeld is being accused of traveling from the U.S. to Haiti for the purpose of engaging in illicit sexual conduct with another person under the age of 18. Gillenfeld is making his appearance in Denver because he was arrested in Colorado. Gillenfeld's alleged sexual misconduct is said to have taken place between November of 2006 and December of 2010. The orphanage founder was in court on Monday for an initial hearing, but has yet to enter a plea deal and has denied all of the allegations. At his detention hearing today, prosecutors may possibly present evidence that could keep him in custody and send him to Miami for further prosecution. And U.S. Biathlon continues to be investigated after Joanne Reed claimed she was sexually assaulted by the team's ski wax technician Peter Garabik. Reed had said that the abuse started in 2016 when she was in her early 20s and Garabik was in his late 40s. The claims were investigated by Safe Sport, an organization that addresses sexual abuse of athletes in Olympic sports. Following the investigation, Reed was kicked off of the World Cup team and had to start over by competing in qualifying races. Garabik faced no punishment and continued to harass Reed. He hasn't worked with any U.S. Biathlon team since November of 2021 after Reed and her teammate Deidre Irwin came forward with statements about his abuse. In November of 2023, Reed shared her story publicly on social media platforms, which was met with outpouring support. And many in the South woke up surrounded by water. With intense rain coming from the west, large portions of the southern United States are under flood watch. CBS correspondent Jared Hill has more. Take a look.
This morning, the South is sopping wet as a storm system dumps inches of rain. Floodwaters in Houston left this man stuck on top of his car, the rescue coming just in time.
There you go. There you go.
Northwest of the city, a whopping 10 inches of rain over the past 3 days washed away roads like this one leading to a neighborhood. Drivers in Covington, Louisiana, north of New Orleans, pushed through flooded roads. And further south in Mandeville, flash flooding left cars like these abandoned alongside the street. The National Weather Service asking drivers to avoid traveling across the North Shore if possible due to unsafe conditions. In Columbia, Missouri, a blanket of fog cut visibility to a quarter mile or less. The wet weather washing across the South, leaving thousands with flood warnings, is the same system that slammed into San Diego. In Northern California, dramatic new video shows a helicopter rescuing a woman stranded for 15 hours when her car flipped in rising water.
It could have had a whole different outcome. She could have been swept downstream, but
strong enough to get up on top of the vehicle.
According to NASA, a warming climate will make situations like this a more constant presence. For every degree Celsius of warming, they say the air can hold 4% more moisture, which can mean more rain and more flooding. Jared Hill, CBS News.
And we'll be right back after this short break. Stay tuned.
The PBS NewsHour, putting questions to those in power.
We're in the fourth wave. There aren't enough tests. Is it time for a new approach?
Providing insight into big issues.
The speech in many ways sets the foundation for Democrats as they renew their push for voting rights.
Focusing on underreported issues.
What are these girls missing while their mothers are in prison that you're trying to help them get?
Weeknights on your PBS station and online.
Monday through Friday at 7 p.m.
Welcome back. I'm Nate Diamond, and this is your Public Eye Sports Breakdown. Kicking off with some big football news, Jim Harbaugh, the former University of Michigan head coach, has officially been named the new head coach of the NFL team, the Los Angeles Chargers. Jim Harbaugh led the Wolverines for 9 years, winning 86 out of their 111 games. The team ended the 2023 college season with a 15-0 record, earning the team's first national championship title since 1997. In the upcoming April draft, Harbaugh and the newly appointed general manager will be making their selection with the 5th overall pick. Additionally, Los Angeles is set to relocate to a new year-round training headquarters in El Segundo. Some good things to look forward to as a Chargers fan. And bringing it back to our own sports teams, the Northern Michigan University women's track and field team is on their way to Saginaw Valley State this weekend for the Jets Pizza Invite. The two-day event begins at Friday at 11 a.m. with the pentathlon. Field events will begin at 4 p.m. with prelims starting at 5 p.m. On Saturday, events will begin at 11 a.m. with the races starting at 1 p.m. Last year, the Wildcats did really well at this season and had 3 people finish in the top 3 and 5 top 5 finishers. Head coach Jenny Ryan talked with NMU Media this week and shared about the team's strong start to the season and how they're ready to test their abilities in the upcoming Jets Pizza Invite this Friday, January 26th and Saturday, January 27th. Go Cats! Bouncing it over to tennis, defending Australian Open champion Aryna Sabalenka defeated Coco Gauff in the semifinals of the tournament. Avenging her loss against Gauff in the U.S. Open final, the number 2 seed Sabalenka attacked Gauff's serve with thunderous returns and served 33 winners total in a 7-6, 6-4 victory. The win over Gauff will put Sabalenka back in the finals, where she will take on the 12-seeded Qin Wenjung, who is in her first Australian Open. She previously lost to Sabalenka last year in the U.S. Open quarterfinals. The match is set for this Saturday with a start date to be determined. That is all I have with your sports. Back to the desk with one more story.
Well, thank you, Nate, for that sports update. How are you feeling about the NMU women's track team going down to the Jets Pizza Invite this weekend?
I'm excited to see it. I don't really know much about it, but it sounds interesting.
I used to run track in high school. I hear you have one more story for us here, Kenzie.
Yeah, I do. Exciting news for dog sled racing fans. The UP 200, Midnight Run, and Jack Pine 30 races are set to go ahead. Despite uncertainties about the weather conditions, the UP 200 Board of Directors is moving forward with race plans. With snow covering the region and a warm spell on the horizon, the tail crew will groom and assess conditions until February 10th, providing regular updates. Fingers crossed for the favorable weather as we eagerly anticipate these 3 races that are just weeks away.
So are you excited for the UP 200, Kenzie?
Yeah, I am. I have a lot of friends that are on the media team for it, and we're just kind of getting ready to start advertising and everything. And what do you think?
I've actually never been to the UP 200. My freshman year, I had no idea about it until it actually happened. I was kind of bummed I missed it. Then last year it canceled, and I was like, oh shoot, I really wanted to go. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for Public Eye News today. I'm Austin Graham.
I'm Kenzie Harrod.
And we will see you tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.
Thanks for watching Public Eye News. You can subscribe to our YouTube, tune in to WNMU Channel 13 every weekday at 4, or follow our Instagram at NMU Penn to never miss a story.